Hello, this is Mac from Unbearable 73. I got a little bit of a rant and rave for you today. See the article right there in front of us. So we'll get right into it. The theme today is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a joke. So this is about Judas Priest still trailing 5 other artists in the 2022 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction vote. So let's see let's take a look at this article and see if there's anything in there interesting. Judas Priest is trailing Eminem, Duran Duran, Pat Benatar, Dolly Parton, and the Eurythmics. Where's your friggin' editor? There should be at the end there. In the fan vote for this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction class. Okay, now let's before we get to the rant part, Dolly Parton is an all-time great artist. Pat Benatar is an all-time great artist. Duran Duran is an all-time great artist. Eminem will be an all-time great artist. And the Eurythmics were a really good band that didn't last too long. Okay? So right away, the fans are voting. The fans are not voting correctly. But this is what this rant is about. Because Eminem deserves to be in a Hall of Fame someday. Dolly Parton deserves to be in the Country Music Hall of Fame someday. Or if there's a generic music Hall of Fame, that too. But this is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And time again, we see artists who are not rock and roll artists of any sort being put into this thing. And it's gotten ridiculous. It's getting more ridiculous. But this is not the artist's fault, nor is it the fans' fault. They're just taking what they can get because fans want to be fans, right? This is the fault of the money-grubbing pieces of crap who own the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, that's right. Let's see who owns the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's just ask Google. Who owns the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Let's take a looky here. It's a museum in downtown Cleveland, Ohio. And does it even say who owns it? I'm presuming it's a public museum. Oh, look, established in 19 by Ahmet Etrigan, who assembled a team and who also published a... So the foundation is apparently the sponsoring organization, okay? The building is there, right? So point is this. Whoever owns it now, whoever's running it now, they're clearly doing this just for money. Because there's no rational way that you should be calling yourself the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and putting Dolly Parton in it. And I listen to some Dolly Parton music. She's got a great voice. Her version of... what's the song that Whitney covered? I Will Always Love You is just as good as Whitney's version, as an example. If you want to hear something awesome by Dolly Parton, go listen to her team-ups with Linda Ronstadt and the trio. They're called the trio. Linda Ronstadt, Dolly Parton, and escapes me at the moment. Okay? Important point is, I've had some great music over the years. I'm not one of those snooty metal elitist fans who can say, oh, rap isn't real music. I'm not going to go there, okay? But this is supposed to be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You should not be putting non-rock artists in there. And rock is a very broad category. There's such thing as Southern rock. You know, Charlie Daniels, Alabama, Leonard Skinner. You know, they have a country sound, but they're a rock band. They have, there's such thing as, a hardcore and metalcore, which could have some rap elements to it, like Kid Rock, for example. But when you go to artists who've never even operated in those frameworks, which Eminem and Dolly Parton are just two of them, and you expand the role of the hall, and there have been others over the years who have been inducted. Let's see if we can just find a couple rappers in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All right, here we go. A lot of these rappers on here, Run DMC, love their music. Grand Flash and the Furious 5, LL Cool J, love their music early, especially the early stuff for LL Cool J. Should not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay, even although LL has done some crossover stuff, so has Grandmaster Flash, not enough to be considered a rock and roll artist. Whereas opposed to Run DMC has one of the greatest crossover hits of all time with Aerosmith and Walk This Way. So if they were going to for a singular thing, saying one of the greatest crossovers of all time, I could see that. Okay, by diluting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or the Country Music Hall of Fame, or I'm gonna, is there a Hip Hop Hall of Fame? Let's find out. You know, Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Okay, there's a Hip Hop Hall of Fame. By putting things in these museums and organizations that do not belong, you dilute the actual organization, and you make fans take it as a less serious of an honor. It is often how it's like how we hear millionaires buy honorary college degrees. How seriously can you take being an honorary PhD when you didn't attend college? You know, if just because you built them a building, it's the same effect here. I don't know. This sort of stuff bothers me. If it bothers you, let me know. Should we enforce more conceptual purity on these museums? Not that we could enforce it because they're private entities, but should we as fans be less tolerant of organizations like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that seem to be selling out for money? By virtue of having more of these artists in there, they get more celebrities to go to their events. They get more fame. They get more money of people going to their doors. I understand that. I understand the economics of it. You know what? Make another building next door called the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, so you get the same crowd. The whole crowd can go see both of them. That's how you do it. This is not how you do it. You don't dilute a product by putting Dolly Parton, Eminem, and Rock Hall of Fame does not dilute it dilutes the Rock and Roll of Fame, but also dilutes Eminem and Dolly Parton. This has been an Unbearable Rant. Thank you for listening. If you agree, give me a like. If you don't, give me a dislike. If you have any similar thoughts or some disagreement, give me some comments. I'm willing to discuss this one. Thank you. This is Matt from Unbearable. I'm signing out. Have a nice day.